I'd like to welcome everyone to the Wednesday, June 12th meeting of the Pine Bluffs Town Council. Will everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item is the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. On to new business. Item number 1 under new business is ordinance 2024-03 on the third reading. Annual appropriation ordinance for the town of Pine Bluffs, Wyoming for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025. Kim?
Mayor Fornstrom and members of the Pine Bluffs Town Council and visitors, I am pleased to present the Town of Pine Bluffs fiscal year 2025 annual appropriations budget to support our vision and goals and to continue with the excellent services and programs we provide to our community. This document will serve as an operating guide throughout the budget process, and the final adopted budget will serve as a management tool for the fiscal year of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. The proposed budget has been prepared to meet legal obligations mandated by Wyoming statute and Town of Pine Bluffs ordinance. It sustains core town services, funds contractual increases in resident programs, and makes modest changes to some key positions. It maintains the town on a steady course and readies leadership for the busy year that awaits us. The total fiscal year 2025 budget of $10,938,826 includes the following fund totals. General Fund, $1,607,445, which is a decrease from the fiscal 24 budget of 2.25%. The Airport Fund increased to $136,694, primarily due to increased rates. At $2,172,066, the Utility Fund also increased slightly from FY24's total. The Capital Project Fund in place for FY25 is actively scheduled for $7,022,622. By actively scheduled, these are funds that have been awarded and include several bonded six-penny projects at $3,532,622, a DWSRF funded project estimated at $1,875,000, and a $1.4 million ARPA project. As additional grant funds are made available, a resolution will be presented for your review to adjust the budget. In FY24, additional grants provided the town with more than $237,000 over original budget. The budget is a balanced and sustainable plan that is reflective of the town's priorities and vision. It is a blueprint for financial and policy decisions that will be discussed and brought into action throughout the coming year. Unfortunately, current economic signals complicate the ability to predict intergovernmental fund revenues and grant opportunities. And while inflation rates have slowed, the revenue stream still falls short of meeting higher rates, resulting in a fiscal burden as we work through the budget. However, our core strength remains to be our team of dedicated employees that will continue to perform effectively and efficiently to perform outstanding service to the community. Those same town employees are our greatest resource. Their expertise and dedication to the families in our community can be seen in the work they do each day. Although amounts may vary based on market need and economic conditions, we have generally budgeted a 3% cost of living increase with additional funding for market adjustments in certain departments. In addition, to ensure we are committed to fair and equitable treatment and pay for all employees, those who achieve certain levels of certification through State of Wyoming will also be recognized for their efforts. Fiscal year 2024 brought about many changes in the town, to including an outstanding new playground at Rare Park and the complete rehabilitation of Maple Street. Our community center gym floor was replaced and the interior received a bright facelift. The police department also ensured that the fleet was fully replenished with necessary equipment, and a new case management system was brought online to ensure secure and compliant information pertaining to criminal cases was brought forward to the DA. And through the generous donations and a grant, a K-9 was made part of the Pine Bluffs Police Department. One sign of a well-developed municipal plan is the ability to withstand the test of time through many challenging circumstances. Fiscal year 2024 brought about many changes, but 2025 shall bring about even greater changes. This is exemplified by our long-term plan to develop the north property that was purchased in 2014 to secure sustainability for the future of Pine Bluffs. Since 2014, we have aggressively worked to secure funding to transfer water rights for municipal use, develop new wells and a core water transmission system, and develop a land use plan, all culminating in a beautiful design for a new development. I am happy to announce that the town of Pine Bluffs will break ground for the Prairie View this August 2024. Another example of a solid plan that has been in the works for close to a decade is the partnership with the Union Pacific Railroad and the Wyoming Department of Transportation to relocate the unsafe railroad crossing on North Main to a new silent crossing at Butler Avenue. Highway 30 will be widened in the area of the crossing to allow for a turning lane to reduce the potential of traffic incident while waiting for a train to pass, and a new road on the north side of the crossing, which was constructed in 2023, will connect traffic to the existing Road 213 and bring residents and visitors to the new development. While there was a slight delay from last year, the project is scheduled to move forward this summer with the pre-construction meeting scheduled later this month. In conclusion, I would like to thank all town staff members for their assistance and cooperation in preparing a strategic and lean budget. Through the due diligence of our department directors and through accurate and timely expense reporting, detailed accounting methods, and sheer determination to find alternate funding sources through grants and donations, our team continues to move forward with many important initiatives and priorities. We are all committed to addressing the ongoing needs of our growing town while committing to provide increased levels of services to the community at very reasonable costs. Thank you for your consideration of the proposed budget.
Thank you.
I move to adopt ordinance 2024-03 on the third reading.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance 2024-03 on the third reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, we have a roll call vote. Jim?
Aye.
Aye.
The budget is adopted.
Thank you.
Kim.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
Item number 2 under new business is the mutual aid agreement between the Pine Bluffs Police Department and the Kimball, Nebraska Police Department.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's Chief Ruiz, Kimball Police Department. I'm not sure many of you know him, so I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Chief Ruiz with Kimball PD. I was a police officer in Cheyenne for about 15 years before going over to the state of Nebraska. I'm very thankful that Chief Smith has been willing to work with us in trying to get this mutual aid agreement going, and I hope that you, the council and mayor, also agree with us that it is a an agreement that is beneficial to both communities.
With that, we made some small tweaks. And the biggest one was arrest versus, I believe it was detention or
So we,
limited police powers, I think it's limited power and authority.
sorry to interrupt, but what that does is, let's say we do request mutual aid agreement from the Pine Bluffs Police Department, they cross over into the state of Nebraska, they can temporarily detain, and then a Nebraska certified officer will come over and take over the investigation or whatever. That's what it means by a limited authority. They're not gonna go across state lines and start arresting Nebraska residents, just like we are not gonna come over to the state of Wyoming and making those arrests. We will temporarily detain, and then the Wyoming officer can come in and finish that investigation.
Great.
That looks good.
Yeah.
Thank you for the report.
Thank you.
I guess we just need to, I move to approve the mutual aid agreement between Pine Bluffs Police Department and Kimball, Nebraska Police Department.
I would second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the mutual aid agreement. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you guys.
All right, thank you.
Item number 3 is our favorite thing, net metering agreement.
This is interesting stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna take like, I think this is our last swing.
It is. I would like to thank our partners at High West Energy for assisting us with this interconnection agreement for net metering service. From the last meeting, pretty much all of the information has stayed the same. I hope you had some time to review it since presented last time. I did forward it on to Miss Rosemary at Wampa for her input, and she felt that it met all of Wampa's needs. So I think that it is safe to say that this is a pretty solid agreement to put in place for our customers.
I agree.
I move to approve the net metering policy.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the net metering policy. Any discussion?
Thanks, Kim.
Yeah, thank you. It's been
Feels like this has been forever.
any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, contract award recommendation, construction management for Prairie View Development. And, I could kick this off, and I'm sure you will as well. Ally and I both had an opportunity to review a couple proposals, and I think we both felt that HDR, who did the initial work on the project, was best suited to manage the same project. So you can speak to that.
Yeah, I iterate that, and along with that, I think they're very familiar with the property. Not only did they do the original work for the wells, but now they've been assisting us with the plat map, surveying. So I think they probably know more about this project than we do at this point. So really comfortable turning that over to HDR for the construction management.
Great. And just for public information, we received 2 statements of qualifications, one from AVI PC, the other from HDR Engineering. Both are out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Both are outstanding firms with fantastic track records. We have worked with AVI in the past, and they have done great work for the town of Pine Bluffs. I think the deciding factor was that the HDR team does have in-depth knowledge of the development, since they were part of it from conception to awarding the project to a construction firm. And 2 of the key players for the HDR team, and so that is why the recommendation was for HDR.
Thank you.
I move to award HDR the contract for construction management for the Prairie View development.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to award HDR Engineering the construction management contract for the Prairie View development. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is visitor comments. Looks like we have some visitors. Does anyone like to make a comment? Sure. You can come forward.
Mr. Mayor, Council, Mr. Clerk, my name is Eric Johnston. If you remember me from last time, I'm still from Wheatland area. And my wife, Holly, the lovely Chugwater lady, and I am a candidate for Senate District 6, along with Miss Withers. We've got 6 candidates in this race. And so it's just great to see the competition, and I think there is some good competition here that is worthy. I think platforms are similar with minor variations, so one of my distinguishing features is I'm a former Platte County Commissioner, and during my term as a county commissioner, I hit every municipality, and I went to the fair boards, and so I know that Glendo's got water issues, and Guernsey has water issues, and now I know that Burns has drainage issues, and Hartville and Chugwater have PFAS issues in their water. So I am interested and I'm involved in the municipalities that I would represent. I also know that Albin's looking for a new lawnmower. So, but as your Senate District 6 senator, continue to represent and take interest in the municipalities that are in the district. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I should introduce myself. I'm Kim Withers. I live between Cheyenne and Burns area. Yeah, it's been a great candidacy, meeting the candidates and stuff like that. My platform, I'm not going to do it too much because what I'm really here to do is learn. I'm very curious. I want to learn more about what's happening in your districts and how the state can help you out. Pro-growth, looking at how we can structure a stable property taxes that doesn't fluctuate so widely. And I think a concern is also inflation and economics, which is right in my wheelhouse. So great work on the stump speech, but I really do want to just learn more about what's happening in each of these towns. I do feel that the Southeast Wyoming has been sorely neglected through the state. And so I want to help support our small towns and municipalities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other visitors? Thank you both. Next item is the department reports.
Yep, from the senior center, just an update from May of 2024. Current members, 223. They serve meals to 1,103 people. The food pantry is also pretty busy. It looks like, if I'm interpreting her text correctly, they served 64 households. Their transit program was also doing very well. They traveled about 737 miles. Their caregiver program had 2 intakes with 8 clients. And their activities and supportive services had 94 clients, 19 services, and 561 needs. You want me to break down any of these into specifics in the future, what all that means? That's it.
Great, thank you. Dave?
Nothing to report. The airport board met last month, but I was not able to attend that meeting and haven't been able to catch up with Kevin to get an update yet.
Great. So I don't usually report much, and this weekend I went to the APPA National Conference, which is the Association of Public Power. While I was there, I got to thinking one of our most important things or one of our critical things is WMPA, and I never really report on the goings-on of that board, and so I'm going to make a commitment that I will have something to report from this point forward. It just kind of happens, and I don't really think of it as part of our board reports, but it was a interesting conference, and learned a little bit more about some rate making and some things like that we may tackle in the future after the WMPA board gets finished with their final rates to us. So that was it. Ellie?
Great. I just got back from Pinedale from the WHAM conference. Justin and Erla did a great job putting that on for all of us. As usual, great networking, great conversation in our regional meetings about various things that all of us are excited for and struggling with. But we also heard a great session from the WCDA about housing needs. They've now finished their statewide housing needs study, which is online, and they do have not just each county broken out, but they do have each community broken out, which is very interesting. They have kind of where we sit now and what we may need in the future. So they've done a lot of work, really interesting presentation. I think we all know that there's a housing need in Pine Bluffs. We all know there's one in Laramie County, but to see those actual true facts and the work that WCDA did kind of really brings that all home. So other than that, just little inspirations, little things that maybe we can I can add to the work we do in the community.
Well, the real question is did you have an opportunity to make it over to Little Jackson Hole? That's controversial.
No, but we did have dinner at the Mountain Man Museum, or the Museum of the Mountain Man.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like, when they first said that, I wasn't really sure what that meant, but it is very impressive. So if you're ever in the Pinedale area, that was a really impressive work of like love. You can tell these people just love what they do, and so it's all about original pioneers of Wyoming, and it's really interesting.
Is that new?
I don't believe it's new. They keep adding to it, so maybe it used to be
I haven't been there for
smaller than it was.
probably 3 or 4 years, but I don't remember that.
It's very cool.
Thank you. Alex?
Pretty routine, couple of weeks, all things considered, but I do have this little item. it took a little explanation. Contemporaneous land exchange by warranty deed was a bit foreign to the troops over there, but we got it. And way too many Fornstrom's signatures on this thing.
I don't have anything to do with that.
But that's all straightened out now, so we're
Great,
off and running.
good. Chief Smith?
Not much. I'm happy to report, about a month ago, I applied for a drone grant through the Department of Justice. There was 60-some thousand applications, and we made the top 10 list. So in end of June, beginning of August, they're gonna narrow that down to 5, so we'll have another answer for you then, and then by August, some point, I can't remember the date, they're gonna award the grant to 2 agencies, so. And it's a $15,000 grant, so we're hoping, crossing our fingers. We have been really pushing for it. We've had a couple instances where it'd been nice to have one. We had an incident a couple weeks ago, tracking down a wanted fugitive, and it'd been nice to have one in this area, especially. You know, Cheyenne has 2, Laramie County has 1, and the SWAT team has 1. So there are ones to get, but it took about 40 minutes to get them out to where we were. So it'd have been nice to have one locally that we could deploy. Also looking at smaller, cheaper ones that we can just purchase that don't have the FLIR and smoke see-through, all that stuff that you'd want on the expensive drones, but I am looking at, you know, smaller alternatives as well. I have my UAV license, and Matthew, by virtue of him being a pilot, has his as well, so we'd have 2 people that could fly it legally. And then we also got awarded through FY25 grant through Wyoming Transportation, sorry. Usually we get about $2,500 for DUI and click it and ticket it and different outside agency grants. That got bumped up to $10,000 for us because we're part of the task force with the Laramie County, and they help run it, so they convinced the state to give us more, which is great. So we'll be getting more money there as well to use.
So is this, so will you be setting up operations locally, or this is money you can use to do countywide?
It can be used statewide, so, but we are gonna be looking at having the task force formulate something in this area, not just Cheyenne or Laramie. But yes, there are gonna be more events planned for 2025, just because this was formed last year, so there are only really 2 events that had happened. Now that we actually have a meeting next week about the planning stages for what we want to do, and so I'll know more then. But they do want to do more with this area. Obviously, Cheyenne and Laramie have pretty ingrained ones with the rivalry game and everything like that. Torrington came on board as well, so there's going to be different events.
I assume
this
these are
area.
unadvertised events, huh?
What's that?
I assume these are unadvertised events.
Yeah, yes. There's going to
We
be
don't
some
tell
where
people well in advance.
there's going to be some where
Should
we'll
stay
advertise
on
and
that
say,
day
hey,
or
we're going to be
whatever.
out here doing this, like the St. Patrick's Day and those events. We'll make our presence known well before to try to curb down some of that. And then there's going to be what the county calls the hives. There's going to be some of those events that we're going to do out here, and those will be more of the non-advertised, just heavy enforcement, and so that's kind of what we have planned for this area.
Great.
But nothing's really set in stone yet. But we did get a good bump in what we usually get from the state, so I was happy. So,
Great.
that's it. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions?
Good work, Austin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Smith,
Yes.
had you looked at specific drone brands?
I have not. I've got some recommendations from Laramie County and Cheyenne about what to stay away from, and their horror stories and their good stories. There's some good brands out there, and then there's some that you have to pay for their software, and then you have to pay for their updates, and they nickel and dime you. And we're going to stay away from those brands. But
Thank you. I was just curious. I know that FCC is looking to propose legislation to outlaw DJI.
yes, because of that exact. I was going to bring their name up, but I didn't want to say it during council meeting. But yes, that is one company that we are going to stay away from. That I think Laramie County had a DJI drone, and they could barely use it because of software. When they needed to put it in the air, they had to do a 30-minute download to be able to fly the dang thing. So we're going to stay away from them, and as have they. But they're, I'm going to forget the name off the top of my head, but they're working with a good company right now, and we're going to go in that direction. We're a little bit off of that 15 grand. It's a little more expensive drone, but you get what you pay for, in my opinion.
Right.
So we'll look at, if we do end up getting it, what we can do and what we could get at that point. And they do have different options. Their drone is very big. We could scale down and get the smaller version of that. So, but yes, yeah, I'm definitely on board. When I started this, that's the first thing I kind of looked up was what drones to stay away from, what drones are really well and work really well. Sorry, and then what their price points are, and that way I could find out what grant through the DOJ that I could apply for. And this one seemed like you had to be an agency under 6,000 population, so this was easier to apply for, and I felt the best angle to approach at. There's other ones that you could get more grant money for, but there's about 200 some thousand applicants, and so it was difficult to approach that knowing that we were probably not going to get it. So, but that's where we sit yet. But yeah, I'm definitely looking at that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Leanne, do you have something?
I don't have any updates, still getting my feet wet, but learning stuff every day. Doing great, and I promise the community that I will get the date right on next month's billing. Because I got it wrong, and whew, I will never do that again.
I didn't.
But other than that, it's going well.
Did you tell them they didn't have to pay for a month? Or did they have
Yeah,
to-
that's what I told them. It's a free month. No.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Kim?
I'm happy to announce that we had successfully repaired 2 significant water line breaks that we had. One was the transmission line from well number 5, which we've had shut down for quite a while now while we got that repaired. And we also repaired it was a broken water valve that turned into a fairly major project over here on West 3rd Street, but both repairs are complete, and we will be buttoning up the hole over here on West 3rd Street later this week. We have another couple of wells that are having a little bit of issues when it comes to the SCADA system, and so we're working with our partners at ITC to get those issues repaired, working with our meter company to ensure that we get our new solar customer reprogrammed. I believe they were working on that today, so that we will have a clear path forward. We appreciate the patience of our current customer. Working through this process has been probably a little bit daunting for them, but they have paved the way for other solar customers here in Pine Bluffs. Now that the budget is complete, we will be able to move forward with getting all these projects rolling for this coming fiscal year. It's going to be a pretty exciting and busy year. And while Leanne said she didn't have anything to update, she has been working diligently on the new website design.
Oh, yeah.
Looks great so far.
And I think that we will have a fantastic new website to roll out to the public here, probably before the end of the calendar year.
Yeah.
So,
I also want to point out, I'm sure Janet can attest to this, that 10th Street is much improved.
Oh,
and
yes.
We've gotten rid of several carnival games on the way in
yes,
and out of 10th Street.
very true, yes.
And they did nice work, especially on the transition to Beach Street. It's
Yeah, it's very nice.
very nice.
Very smooth. Not just the other part of 10th Street.
Right.
Anything else? Announcements and meetings?
The next meeting is Wednesday, June 26th at 6 p.m.
Well, along with that, I would like to point out the Laramie County Weed and Pest annual spray day is Saturday, June 22nd. So for all of our residents interested in spraying their alleys or any other areas of their properties, that they'd be able to provide the advice and pick up the chemical and it's free.
It is free.
Yeah, I think the chemical's free of charge, so I would encourage our citizens to take advantage of that and get out there and take care of some of our nice noxious weed problems around our town to the best of their ability, and it's a great opportunity given the price points, I guess.
Yeah, I think they'll fill your hand sprayer for free with whatever tank mix they think will kill everything you need to kill. Usually broadleaf, but.
Anything else? If not, I'd hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.